Rennie Murphy, sci-fi author of the Order of the Seers trilogy and owner of Lion Sky Publishing, and you're watching Heritage Hip Hop.
Yes. Hey, what's up, everybody? We at New York Comic-Con 2016, and I'm here with a fabulous author with a new line that should catch everyone's attention. Can you introduce yourself, please?
Hi, I'm Cerece Rennie Murphy. I'm an author, I'm a mom, and I'm the owner of Lion Sky Publishing.
It's a pleasure to meet you today.
Thank you. Same to me.
Now, I've looked at the table, and I see different styles and genres of writing, which have caught my eye, from the Ellis and the Magic Mirror, and it seems like you have novels here too. Can you tell us about the type of stories that you present to the public?
Oh yes, I love writing stories that are inspirational, that take the human condition, examine it, and try to find ways to inspire people to be and do their best. So even if I'm writing a children's book or a science fiction trilogy, it's all about how can we connect with each other and bring out the best in each other.
What brought you into this line of writing and this style?
Oh gosh, I've been a sci-fi fan since I was 7 years old, and my mother took me to see Empire Strikes Back in the Uptown Theater in DC, for all DC folks out there, and I've never looked back. It's a genre that I love, that has given so much to me. I never thought I would be a writer, but about 5 years ago now, I was washing the dishes and had the idea for Order of the Seers, a sci-fi trilogy about a group of people who can see the future and they're enslaved for that ability. And I was so excited about the story that I decided I was going to try to write it, and I've never looked back.
You know what's interesting about what you said, and what I'm going to appreciate about what you said? You said it was something that you didn't expect that you would get into, and from you taking the initial step, you're successful and you're getting your ideas out. Why is that important for any young writer who would like to produce something new that's not out today?
Oh, that's a great question. Here's what I say. Having an art form at all, whether it's storytelling, visual arts, is a gift and a blessing. And I believe strongly that a blessing is not complete until it's shared. So if you have a story, the intention of that story is not just for you to have it, it's for you to write down and share it with someone who will be inspired by it, who will be touched by it. As a reader, I have had the experience of reading a book that has changed my life. And your story could be that impetus for someone else. But if you never share it, that will never happen.
Thank you so much. So tell us about the stories that you have shared in your vision.
Oh,
show us your books.
All right, well, let's take you on a little journey here. I'll start with my early reader children's book called Ellis and the Magic Mirror. Ellis is about a little boy who finds a magic mirror and discovers that there are trolls hanging out at his school trying to stop children from learning. And the book takes you on a journey as Ellis, his little sister Freddie, and his best friend Toro go into the forest to find out what the trolls are up to and stop what they have planned. I started writing the book because my son, who was 6 at the time, could read chapter books, but he wouldn't. And when I asked him why, he said, well, Mommy, there are too many words and not enough pictures. And so I was honored to get together with a wonderful illustrator by the name of Gregory Garay, and he was able to illustrate the books in color on almost every single page of the book, so that it really is able to pull in that reluctant reader and give them pictures that will anchor them to a story in a high-adventure, action-packed adventure. So that is how I got going with Ellis.
Before we go to the next books that you have, I think that's very important because I'm a preschool teacher, and I like to work with little children. I have 3s, 4s, sometimes some 5s, and our job is to get them ready for kindergarten.
Yes.
And you meet a lot of children who can read, and one thing that we are very cognizant of is giving the children images where the characters look like them,
yes,
and we're not berating them with imagery that's above their heads. Why was it important for you to have a character that is relatable to you and your son?
Well, first of all, this is my son's book. I wrote it with him. He edited the book. He let me know where the story was. He approved all the illustrations. So having on a very basic level, the book had to look like him because it's his book, and he would expect that. But also, it's important. This is a very diverse world, filled with a lot of different people.
Right.
And children, we need to express that and show that in as many ways as we can, as early as we can, so that they don't get the message that they are somehow excluded. And even if you tell a child that they're not, children are really, really smart. They believe what we do, not what we say. And so we show them books where there are no representation of them. What that says to them is that they are invisible. No matter what you say, if it's not in the world and you're not demonstrating it, it's not real for them. So it was really important for me to have characters of color that reflected my children. I have a 5-year-old daughter who looks a lot like the little girl in the book. But I also have a Native American boy in the book because I hadn't seen a story where Native American children were in an early reader chapter book where there wasn't a sad story or a bad story or a mad story. There are Native American children in the modern era doing amazing things, and I wanted a chance to explore that and show that in children's literature.
I love it. Now tell me, what did you want to show in the other styles of books that you have as well?
Okay, well, To Find You is my new historical romance, and I can tell you it was a labor of love. This is pure fancy. I just wanted to write it. I thought about the idea after writing the Order of the Seers trilogy, which is a very intense book. I thought, gosh, I want a love scene, and this story came to me. It's about two souls trying to find each other through time, and I think one of the main themes in the book, in addition to just, the power of love through time, is I wanted to showcase different settings. I know there are a lot of historical romances that take place in Scotland and England and all kinds of great places, but I hadn't seen a historical romance that took place in pre-colonial India, in Ghana, that showcased people of color in World War II in a powerful way. There are so many African Americans in World War II that played a critical role, an important role in our military. And that story is not often told. So it was really an opportunity for me to showcase my love of travel, my love of finding out about different cultures and different periods in history. So that was a really exciting thing for me to share, To Find You.
That's beautiful. And the Order of the Seers again is what now?
Yes, Order of the Seers is a sci-fi trilogy about a group of people who can see the future and they're enslaved for that ability.
Wow.
And the book's all about how they escape the organization that's trying to exploit their gift, how they reclaim their power and start fighting back. It's lots of action, adventure, suspense, and a little romance too. As I said, Order of the Seers came to me really while I was washing the dishes. It was such a powerful story, and I just wanted to see if I could write it. And so, gosh, 3 books later, at the time I didn't even know it was a trilogy. But I believed in the story. I believed in the journey of these characters who were told that their powers and their use in the world is one thing. And as they break out of the organization that's trying to exploit them, they discover an entirely new understanding of themselves and their powers. And I think that's a journey that all of us as human beings have to take, where we redefine ourselves for ourselves. And when we do, we discover that our power is much greater than we ever thought it could be.
That's fascinating. I want to ask you 3 questions if you don't mind, because what you said was so powerful, it led me to go in a different route than I wanted the interview to go. I hate when we have to classify writers as black men or black women or men and women. You're a writer. How important is it for you to establish your own unique voice, but not to be labeled in your style of writing and in your genre as well?
No, I don't worry about being labeled. I am a black woman. That's gloriously obvious. I do what I do. I worry about finding my own voice and letting that be expressed. If you find your own voice, it's automatically unique because there's only one of me in the world and there's only one of you in the world. And however other people want to categorize me, that's their issue. I don't really focus on that at all. I feel like I come from an incredible tradition of people who made the impossible happen. So for me, there's nothing I can't do. There's no reason why I can't do whatever I'm called to do. And I just focus on that. So, as a black female science fiction writer, when I started out, there was a lot of negativity about who my audience would be and who it wouldn't be. But I didn't believe that, because I come, again, from a proud tradition of people who make the impossible happen. And I just decided I would try. And that same tradition, and I feel like if we could survive the Middle Passage, honestly, we could do anything. And that just really gives me the courage to move forward with whatever it is I want to do.
That was powerful because you actually answered my second question. What was the hardships you may have overcame? And it basically for you was critics.
Sure. I mean, well, the hardest challenge for me was my own self-doubt. I mean, as I stand in front of you now, you might think, oh, she's got it all together. You know, it's a daily struggle sometimes, particularly when I was writing Order of the Seers. I mean, my doubts about my writing ability and whether or not anybody would like it, you know, it was really difficult. But the thing is, you just can't stop, because I believe that even here's something that I might say to writers. Even when you're doubting yourself, believe in your story and believe in your characters. When I was doubting myself, I could focus on my characters and the story they were trying to tell through me. And that often got me through my own self-doubts, to focus on what is this blessing? What is this story that I'm trying to bring to the world? And when I refocused on the mission, finishing this book of bringing these characters to life, oftentimes my doubts fell away and I focused on the work. And that has really sort of gotten me through.
You must be a prophet because you're answering all my questions before I can answer them. So, to make this a wholesome video, can you tell the viewers how can they get in touch with you to order online and to support you?
Oh, sure. Well, the first thing you can do is go to my website at www.CereceRennieMurphy.com, and you can see all my books, you can read excerpts, etc. But you can also you can also buy my books on my website. But you can also go to Amazon, Barnes & Noble, all the usual suspects, or your indie bookstore and request my books. You can go to the library and request my books. That's really important as well. But I just thank you for your support, and the other thing you can do is read my books and tell somebody that you liked them.
You have social media as well?
Absolutely. I'm on Facebook, Cerece Rennie Murphy. I'm on Twitter at Cerece R. Murphy. I'm on Instagram as Cerece R. Murphy. And I'm also on Tumblr as Cerece R. Murphy. But I'm not as active there. I'm trying, but there's a lot going on.
All right, everyone. So let's support the art. We support our own. If you like to read, give yourself quality material to read. Here is Miss Cerece Rennie Murphy and Lion Sky Publishing. We'd like to thank you for the interview. Peace.